So I tell my mother, and it went terrible. It didn't go well at all. She broke into tears. She thought she failed me. She thought that there was something wrong with me. She worried that I would get a disease, that I would die of AIDS, because these are the stories that we were told. My mom had an eighth grade education. And I basically told her that I didn't want to be treated any differently than any other of her children or her friends' children. The most amazing part of that is that within several years, my mom basically told me that, and including after that moment, that she loved me so much that it didn't matter what other people thought, but that I was always going to be her son. And that love evolved into so much. My mom helped me co-found Pride, Springfield Pride, which for a long time there was no Pride in Springfield. And she has been the staunchest supporter of helping me to create one of the only community level celebrations of LGBT identity in almost all of Western Massachusetts. It was a lesson to me that being proud and standing up for who you are and what you believe in actually creates the license for other people to do the same. And so coming out to my mom was probably both the hardest and most meaningful experience of my life. Springfield is considered the city of homes, but my family and I grew up homeless. And I was raised by a single mother who had me at 16. And in many ways, our first priority was survival. And so growing up, the worst things you could be were poor, a person of color, and gay. And I happened to be all three of those. And so I was really worried that my prospects were short. But then I did I was in AmeriCorps, did it in Holyoke, and that's where I met Deval, the governor. I got involved in politics. There was a gubernatorial candidate in the next couple of years who was having a listening session, and he was opening it to the complete public to ask him any questions on camera in front of everyone. And I had never seen a politician do that before. And it was like, anyone can ask me any question. So I was this young, probably too smart for my own good, and I asked this super complicated question. And this amazing governor said to me, that was a really smart question, and I want to personally make sure we answer it. So gave me his card, gave it to his chief of staff, and said, you need to get an answer, and you need to be working with my administration. That was the first moment I knew that leadership mattered, who you elected mattered, and people are willing to stand up with you when you stand up with them. And so from that moment on, I not only worked on the re-election campaign, it inspired me to run for office, and I became the first openly gay city councilor in Springfield history. It all started with not only a glimmer of hope in 2004, it was a glimmer of inspiration from an elected official named Deval, who believed in a cause that was bigger than himself, that included me. And it was the first time I ever felt included, and the first time I ever felt heard, and it made a huge difference in my life.